My clicky doesn't click.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Well, hey, you know.
There's medicine for
I
that.
can't all be winners, I guess. What is up, interwebs? Big Lou here. Matt, the Cutman, with me as always. And we are going to be doing our deep dive discussion on Star Trek Picard, Nepenthe. Nepenthe. What, pronounce it?
Sure.
No, episode 7, Nepenthe.
Nepenthe.
Yes. That is a joke going back to Jonathan Frakes and Brett Spiner were on Ready Room, and they made the joke that they couldn't pronounce it either.
Yeah.
So, which was funny. So anyway, I think this episode is going to hit you a lot harder than it hits me.
Oh, yes, it does.
Because we have the long-awaited reunion between Picard and Riker and Deanna Troi.
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead, start us off there with some of the feels that you had watching this.
They got the band back together.
Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. I was very... I knew that it was going to be really, really good, but it was better than I thought it was going to be. I really like how deep they went.
Yes, and exactly. They did go deep. It wasn't just let's stop in on Riker and Troi.
Yeah.
And it'll be a neat little cameo for the fans, and then they'll be back off out into space.
Yeah.
They slowed it down. You know, they came off the Borg cube through the spatial
Trajector. Yeah.
It's a transmonster.
Yeah.
It's not even a word.
The red thingies head towards the green thing. Sorry.
They came off the action of last week and they slowed it down, and you get to see what's been going on with Riker and Troi.
Yeah.
And how not only what's been going on with them, but how they were able to be completely helpful.
Yeah.
To
Picard, for sure.
To give him things that he needed, some tools, some clubs that were not in his bag, so to speak.
Yeah. One of the things that Jonathan Frakes went really, really deep on when they were talking to him on Ready Room, and if you haven't watched that episode of Ready Room, you should go finish watching this and then go check that out.
First.
Yes, through to the end, and like and subscribe. But one of the things that he said was that this Picard is so vulnerable, and there's stuff that both Troi and Riker are saying to him that they would have never said to him on the Enterprise, nor would they have had to say.
No, they wouldn't have needed, because he's just out of his element.
Yeah,
with having Soji there, and Picard doesn't have kids.
Yeah,
and quite frankly, he never really liked kids.
Yeah.
when he was on the Enterprise, he didn't have time for them.
They don't follow orders,
right? Speaking of kids, Riker and Troy's daughter, Kestra,
she's perfect.
Oh my God,
yeah.
Whoever that actress was,
we will watch her career with great interest.
Oh man, she was so good as a kind of a smart ass. That would be the daughter of Will Riker,
for sure. Totally.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Like, when my favorite part was when she gets the bunny corn sausage.
Yeah.
Or the bunny corn to make the sausage. And did you take the venom sacs out? No, I left them in so we could all spew black bile and die.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very.
It's the best.
The writing on it, the writing on this whole series has been incredible, but hearing Riker's voice, and I don't just mean, Jonathan Frakes saying the words, I mean Riker's voice.
Sure.
They absolutely...
His right-hand man.
Yeah, they nailed the writing. They nailed the dialogue. They nailed the essence of who Riker would be all these years later.
Right. Post command, post having a family, and tragically losing a son.
Yeah.
His firstborn.
Yep.
We see him, and he's out the other side of this.
Yeah.
With some knowledge to impart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was such a great scene when he goes to Picard and he's like, "Can you tell me about this?" And Picard's like, "No, I really shouldn't. To keep him safe."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, let me see if I got it." And he's like, he just kind of goes through, "Let me ask you about this." And
the thing that I like that he said before he went into that little dialogue there was the line that he said about, imagine if we lived in a world where the ignorance of a threat protected us from it. Whereas, it's like, whether you tell me or not is not going to affect how serious this situation is.
Right.
So you may as well tell me. And that speaks volumes to a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with now in our own current political climate, as far as, people not, wanting to put, people wanting to put their heads in the sand and pretend that a problem doesn't happen.
Right.
Ignorance of that threat doesn't negate the threat.
Right. It'll still be there.
Yeah.
In their parlance, if the Romulans are coming, they're coming.
Yeah.
And one of the things, and I thought this was going to be a negative for me when it first happened, was when Picard told him there might be a threat, and Riker goes right back into his, shields up. Whatever to max, sensors to maximum, scan for...
Red alert, scan for, yeah.
At first I thought it was kind of hokey.
Yeah.
And then as I learned more about what was going on, I realized, no, Riker would be...
For sure.
Would be the, this alpha that has, his compound would have shields. And...
Any type of... You talk to anybody that's ex-lifetime military guy, and they're always going to have that same... mentality of I got to protect the home front,
right?
And especially when you consider that Riker's been through what he's been through with losing the son and stuff like that. It absolutely makes sense that he would have all that type of precautions in place.
Yeah. So I thought at first that was a little going to be a little hokey, but then it once they explained it really, I'm like, no. And I rewatched it. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
A lot of these episodes, you do have to watch it a minimum of 2 times.
Yeah, I should do that more before we talk about it. But life. What else you got?
So, I mean, just to swing back to, I think Kestra was maybe my favorite part of this episode. With as much great stuff that was in there, I really liked her and Soji's interactions.
Love that she was able to, kind of empathize with what Soji was going through and, communicate to Soji in a way that didn't feel patronizing. Because kids don't know how to be patronizing, I mean, what did they say? She was 10?
Yeah. She looked between 8 and 10.
Yeah. So hearing her get the enthusiasm that she had over the fact that Soji was an android.
Right.
And Soji's here going... no, that's not exciting. That's terrifying. But hearing, Kestra get excited about it and explain to her, it's like why it's cool and the fact that, okay, you're an android. So what? You're still awesome.
Do you have mucus?
Yeah.
Data didn't have mucus. I love it when she's like, do you play the violin? No. Do you like Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah.
I guess. Can you jump really high and bend steel?
Oddly
Actually,
enough,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
And just you're right, how she was able to kind of relate having lost her big brother. Mm-hmm. It really those two were really good together.
Yeah.
And I do hope we get more of her.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked the moment that she had at the end when they're at dinner and she looks at her and says, "You have a home world." And did you drop your pen?
Drop my pen.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, well.
There's one right
I got one.
Yeah, we're good. Crisis averted. Anyway, when she looked at her and said, "You have a home world," and then Soji was like, "Oh, I have a home world."
Yeah.
So it was, just moments like that throughout were, I think, done incredibly well.
Yes. And so, speaking of the home world.
Yes.
That's where we're headed next. Is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And so to take it back actually to the very beginning of the episode, the opening,
the cold open with
Commodore O and Dr. Jurati.
I almost texted you, but I figured I'd wait and ask this question while we were doing this review. Can Romulans do mind melds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, Romulans and Vulcans our ancient ancestors.
Right, I knew that, but I didn't know if they had the mental discipline still in order to do the psychic stuff that Vulcans can do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's part of their normal culture.
Yeah.
But I remember references to their ability to do that.
Okay. Because if not, then that means Commodore O is actually a Vulcan. And if she's an evil Vulcan, that's...
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that is a scary thought.
Yeah.
But no, I'm pretty sure that she is indeed a Romulan.
Yeah.
If only because we open on 3 weeks ago before Dr. Jurati heads off into space.
Yeah.
And this is the meeting that we didn't get to see.
Yeah, we saw the beginning of it, but then it cut away. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
First of all, I love Commodore O in the secret agent classes.
In the Ray-Bans, yeah. Yeah. It's like, look right here at my neuralizer.
Yeah, right? Exactly. That's completely what it was.
She makes that look good.
Yes. So, and then the mind meld happens. Now, what do you think that transference was? What were those images that they were seeing? Was that...
Control.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there seems to be, for the record, I have finally fully caught up on watching Discovery. So, spoiler alert for Discovery if you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
But
Control being the AI.
yeah, there seems to be threads from season 2 of Discovery with season 1 of Picard.
I'm getting that.
A very much AI is the devil, type of Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
So
were those scenes from the transference, was that some sort of ancient Romulan memory, and is that why they hate synths and AI so much?
That's the only thing that makes sense, that she would have that type of vivid imagery, and because unless it's some type of premonition or something like that, but I think that's getting a little bit too into that's bridging the gap of, it's right on the cusp of fantasy more so than what Trek has historically been, which is just straight sci-fi.
Right. So I think those were some ancient memories that have been passed on, and this is why the Tal Shiar and the Zhat Vash, specifically the Zhat Vash, hate the AI so much, and why this society has banished that form of technology.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really going to come into play with the closeout of this first season.
Yeah, no, I agree, and we're coming up on that because we got 3 episodes left.
3 left.
Yeah,
3 to go.
So we're coming up onto the
third act,
into the home stretch here. Yeah, we're right at the beginning of the third act. So, speaking of the beginning, we also spent some time back on the cube with Hugh getting interrogated and losing some of the BGs, the XBs. Thank you.
The BGs were banned.
Right. That's right. It also stands for Battlegrounds in World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so we've got Rizzo, Narek's sister, killing the XBs right in front of Hugh, and her looking at him like, I didn't do this. You did this. And it's like, okay, well, you kind of did. But, and then we have Elnor come in, and that was later.
Yeah, Elnor came in a little bit later, but you're right. We had Rizzo really showing her contempt for everything that was, she just hated where she was and her mission, and
hated the fact she had to lower herself to go and deal with these underlings.
Riffraff.
Yeah. Oh, good word. Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, we see that Jurati is pleading with Rios and Raffi. It's like, let's just go home. Can we just go home?
Yeah. And then once Dr. Jurati puts it together that she is the reason that they're being tracked.
Yeah.
And puts herself into that coma.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to off herself.
I thought she was going to do something that would make her, either
inert,
not necessarily inert, but get rid of the tracker that was in her bloodstream. To take something that would expunge it or whatever. But going into a coma is certainly one way to go.
Yeah, what looked to be a painful way.
Yeah.
Foaming at the mouth and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, when she puts it together that, I may have been a Romulan ploy.
Yeah.
And being used as a tool this whole time.
Yeah. I am the weakest link.
Yeah, and I killed my mentor.
Yeah.
What have I done?
Yeah. Yeah. She went and ate a bunch of cake, which, I can't fault her for that. So
that was always Counselor Troy's go-to when she was had heartache.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Now that you say that, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Lots of cake. I thought it was ice cream.
Could have been ice cream sundae. It was really anything chocolate.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because I remember an episode of Voyager that Troy was on, and she ate ice cream because she was stressed.
It was very cathartic for her.
Yeah, very much. Which it's not wrong. And then, of course, we have Elnor and Hugh trying to kick ass and stuff like that, and it didn't work out too well for Hugh.
Oh, poor Hugh. How we will miss thee.
Very much so, but it really made me realize that for as much of a badass fighter as Elnor is, he's still incredibly immature as far as tactics and mentality and stuff. He's used to sparring with people that have honor, and when you see the look on his face when Rizzo is fighting him and she has the one thing up like she's going to throw it at him, and then just throws it, pulls a clever girl from Jurassic Park on old Hugh, and just the look on his face is, oh my gosh, she got one over on me. And
well, this was his first time on a real mission.
Yeah.
He'd always been at
at
the compound, at the nunnery.
Yeah, get thee to the nunnery. Yeah, no, I agree, and that was one of the things that it was a great character moment for him. So, what else you got on your list there, buddy?
I really want some bunny corn sausage pizza.
Yeah, it does. It looks tasty.
Right? I really liked Riker's. He's got the pizza oven outdoors, and you can tell that he knows his way around a kitchen. This is not his first time making that pie.
Yeah.
And oh man, and I also am one that's not unfamiliar with the pizza stone and whatnot. So I understand that passion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. It was really, really cool watching him, be very not only knowledgeable but incredibly passionate about the ingredients that he's putting in,
right. and the fresh basil from his garden and the tomatoes.
Yeah. The line that Soji says about "I've never had food not from a replicator" was, it kind of made me start doing some thinking about what percentage of people in the galaxy have been like her, never had food, fresh grown food, and
probably a lot, especially
a lot.
Considering, they talk about Thad, Riker's son. They grew up on starships and kind of longed for a home world.
Never had a home world,
and so that's something that's important to them.
Yeah.
So that was neat.
Yeah. So, what else you got?
Nothing. I was serious. Let's get some bunny corn sausage pizza.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to go get pizza then. So that's going to do it for us. Let us know what your thoughts are down in the comments section below.
Predictions, thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been looking at the analytics and the metrics of some of these videos, and it's interesting.
I have.
It's because I like numbers. But it's been interesting. So if you're going to downvote this video, let us know why down in the comments. I'm very curious as to what people's mentality is as to why they vote yay or nay. So anyway, that's going to do it for us. We're going to be here next week for episode 8. I don't know the title of it. Did you happen to look up the title for episode 8 of Picard?
Yep.
I didn't either. So anyway, and then also next week we'll be doing our review of the first story arc in Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yes, indeed.
The Bad Batch story arc wraps up next week. So you can subscribe to the channel just by clicking right here. We've got another fun video for you to watch right up here, and we will be back. Same Trek time, same Trek station. Later.